Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. I am so excited to do this. So I got 2 molds in the mail. This is the heart cake mold. So it's a birthday cake with piped icing on the bottom and the top. And it's in the shape of a heart. Now they also had, I got these from Let's Resin. They had the circle one. Now you guys, most of you know I am a cake decorator. These were irresistible to me. You know I have to make them, and I might make them like over and over and over again because I love to decorate cakes. I love it. I really do. In fact, there's cake decorating on my channel somewhere way at the bottom. These hold, well, I don't know exactly. I did measure just the cake portion because all I'm pouring today is the cake portion and the icing portion. And that part is 5.5 ounces. I probably should have measured the whole thing, but I didn't, and I'm not getting ready to start over. So these molds actually come with a foam insert. And you don't throw this away when you get it. It's not packaging. Put this in the heart here and leave it in your heart when you're pouring your mold. That way it will support the shape of the mold. So don't do that. So the very first birthday cake I'm going to make, of course, is going to be pink and white. Because, you know, pink birthday cakes, most women love pink birthday cakes. I'm also going to put some sprinkles on it. But that'll be after it's unmolded, I think. Because I don't want to like mess around in here with UV resin and sprinkles. I'd rather just put UV resin on the top of it, sprinkle my sprinkles on, and get it cured that way. And I'm even thinking about like writing on the cake. I'm going to print like something with my Cricut, put some sprinkles there maybe too. I'm not sure. I'm so excited. Like you could do anything. So let's get started. I'm going to mix up some resin. I'm going to do crystal white. This one is extra super sparkly. And I'm going to pour 1 ounce of that into the frosting here. Now the frosting on this one will get done at a later date. So I'm only going to pour the cake portion, and I'm going to try to stop right there. That way I can pour more crystal white along the edge and the bottom when that part is cured. So I'm just going to do that with the pink. And then I will pour pink on top of this one. I guess I should probably remeasure with water. Forget it. If I have extra resin, I have extra resin. So I'll know at the end. I'll write it on when I'm done. Okay, let me grab some resin. I'm going to use my casting resin, my pump resin, same thing. I call it pump resin because it comes with pumps. It's not really called pump resin. So I hope you guys figure that out. If you never know what I'm using, just go in the description box. It's all there for you guys to check out. All right, it's mixed. It's time to mix this up. I'm going to do the large one with a nice amount. Now I don't run it through the bubble maker when I use glitter or mica powders because you're not going to see the bubbles. You just have to avoid creating bubbles or allowing bubbles to settle in your project. So you won't see them in the resin, but you will see them if they're like in the corners of your project. So that's where you have to worry about bubbles. The only time you have to put it through your bubble remover, if you're new to resin, a lot of you already know this, but the only time you have to use your bubble remover is if you're going to use a transparent color or clear, because that's when you're going to see them in your actual resin. So this here does not matter. So just mix up your mica powders really super good so you don't have any of the powder floating on the surface. Although this one will be at the bottom, so you really wouldn't see it, but just get in a good habit of mixing it really good. And then I just test it by looking at it through the stick to see if you could see my stick. And I could use a tad bit more. I'm sure it might be okay, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit more in there. And again, I will link everything that I use in my description box. If you can't find it there, then comment and let me know. I could have forgotten something, but most of the time I take pretty good notes and I make sure everything gets linked if I have a link. If I don't have a link and I purchased it at a store, I'm going to tell you I purchased it at so-and-so store. I won't just leave it out there. Otherwise, I'll get a million comments. So I do make those kind of notes. All right. This one is about 1 ounce. And this one is so sparkly. I know you probably can't see it in the camera. And you probably won't be able to see it at the end. But it is so pretty. I mean, see it glistening? That's all like glitter or something. I don't know what they put in here. All I know is I used it one other time and I didn't expect it to be that sparkly. I didn't really want it to be that sparkly on that particular project, and when it came out, I was a little surprised. But I do want it sparkly on this project. And I could use a little more of that too. I want to conserve this one because it's a small jar, and I don't know that you can just buy their brand by the piece. It came as a set. So I try to conserve my favorite colors as long as I can. I think it's still a little, as I'm conserving, I need more because you could still see through it. All right, and then we're just gonna pour them in and let them cure. I'll probably use my heat mat on this one just because I can't wait to finish it and I don't want it to take too long. So I'll need both of these colors later. Let's just pray I put them on the right portion after the fact. All right, so let's do the white first. Now it will be a little hard to just get it back there without pulling these edges up. I'm just kind of letting it flow. Otherwise, I'll be doing some cleaning along the edge. I haven't seen anybody do this on YouTube yet because I was looking for a little inspiration. I have seen Let's Resin. They have a little, I think it's a short actually. They have a little short video out on these, but that's the only one that I have seen so far do these. So I hope some of you guys get these molds so I could see what you're doing with them. I just want it up to the surface, or the line right there, the breaking line. I don't want any more than that. And it's gonna like shrink back a little bit. It's really not too hard actually to stay in there. As long as you have like a paper cup that you could squeeze, it's really not that bad. Yeah, that's good. Now the question is, am I going to have bubbles underneath? I hope not. So I have a little extra I'll do something with. Let's pour some pink. And see how this goes. I'm going to just do a little bit down the edge, get it around the side, and then I'm going to like squish it down with a stick or something so I don't end up with bubbles along the bottom, because they just love to stick to those 90-degree angles. I see a lot of my friends' birthdays ending up with happy birthday cakes for their birthdays. Sorry, friends, now. I'm going to apologize at this point. So I'm just going to squish it down. Excuse my dogs in the background. Nobody's home, and they bark at everything going by. All right. And then I'll clean off that top edge. Just remember to stop at the line where the frosting starts for later. Well, this resin that I use can be poured an inch deep without a problem. Actually, I have poured it, I think, 3 inches deep without a problem before I pushed the limits, and it worked. So I'm not worried at all about using a deep pour resin for this mold. A little bit more. I think that's perfect. Almost perfect. I barely have anything left. What I could do, instead of trying to clean all that off, I'm going to just let it cure, and I'm going to peel it off when it's done. So I'm just squishing it around, making sure there's no bubbles. And the edge, the line you're looking at is on this outer edge. It's not the inner portion of the, I know it looks like I didn't finish pouring it up, but the heart part is part of the frosting. So you have to look at the edge on the outer edge of it when you're pouring it. Okay, everything looks good. I'm going to find something for the extra. I'm sure you guys will be getting these freebies, and I will be back when it's cured. It has been in about an hour and a half. I had the heat mat on, and it's cured. It's cured. It's ready to go. Everything is solid. So what I did is I looked inside here, and there were a bunch of drips of the pink along my frosting line. So I took a piece of tape. See all those little bits and pieces I got out of there? So make sure you clean it up really good before you pour, because you're going to see that embedded in the white. And then the same thing for the white. I went through and I got all my little white pieces out from up inside the lip here that were like drips. And I mixed up 6 ounces, and I almost screwed up. I put 1.5 ounces, and I was going to pour this one first, and I put white in. I almost poured white in there. So thank God I caught that before I did it. So then I got another cup. I got 1.5 ounces in this one. I think I'm going to need about 2 ounces, but I didn't want to over mix the white in case I didn't mix enough. So yeah, I definitely need more. I might even need more than a total of 6 ounces. I'm not sure. I should have not been lazy, and I should have rechecked the whole mold, but I didn't. So that was 1.5 ounces, and I probably need another 1.5 ounces of pink. So I'm just gonna mix more up. So I'm probably going to need more white for this side. So just pay attention to what you're doing before you mix your colors, because you don't want a pure, I mean, you'd have to obviously do damage control if you poured it wrong, but, and I still need more. Need a little more. Wow, I'm definitely going to need to mix more resin. Measure your molds before you start, you guys, and you won't have this problem. Now I don't know if the colors will match because I'm not really measuring my micas into my resin. I'm just hoping for the best. That should be perfect. I'm just going to spray it with a little bit of alcohol. I don't want to torch this mold. And I might actually, where's my little favorite stick? Just kind of go around the inside of that. Make sure there's no air pockets. And then we're going to mix up the white, which I've already started, but I know I'm going to need more. So I'm just going to dump this white into this. Definitely going to need more powder. And dump it into that one. So I think I mixed up, what, 5 ounces on the first one. I think I'll have to go back and rewatch. And if it was, and this was 6, so that's 11 ounces so far. Maybe it holds 12 ounces. I'll do a little bit more white. I still have the heat mat on underneath this. We're going to get this thing demolded today. I think I'm going to print out a little decal for it. Get this party started. Wouldn't that be amazing if this was enough? Oh my gosh, you guys, it's enough. It is the perfect amount. That never happens. Never, ever, ever happens. So this mold holds 11 ounces. Exactly. Spray it with alcohol. Cover it if you want to cover it. I cover mine just so it goes quicker. And we will decorate in a few. It is ready, you guys. It's ready in one day. I'm so excited. It looks so cute. I can already tell it's going to be cute. But before that, I had a little bit of leftover, but it went so far. Look at this stunning, super sparkly pendant. That one. And I have this one. It's hard to see, but it is super, super sparkly, very sophisticated. And then I decided to put a little bow on this one. Isn't that adorable? So some lucky people are going to get these. This is all that I had left of the pink, and the pink didn't come out that great, so I added a little bit of gold sparkle dust to that one. And I have a pair of earrings that are sparkly. So those are the extras. And I have a tiny little happy birthday decal ready to go on the top. So let's get it unmolded. Hopefully in one piece. If I can get this off of me. Okay. We will start with the lid. I hope there's no bubbles. This is going to be so cute. Oh gosh, look at that big bubble. All right. That kind of stinks. There's another one. And there's another one. I told you there was going to be bubbles. Look at that. That is so cute. So I'm probably going to top coat it with the decal. I don't know if it's worth fixing those or not because I don't think you're gonna see them. I don't know. I will think about it. Okay, I took the insert out. That was in there. Let's get this out and see what we got. It took, I don't know, it's been cured for about an hour already. I just haven't gotten to it. So I don't know, the whole thing took maybe 6 hours, but that's not like constant work. So with that heat pad, man, I love that thing. All right, hang on, let me flip my mold back inside out. I do not want to mess this one up because I love it. Okay, here's the back. And here, oh, look at the bottom. That is so pretty. Oh, I wish you could see it in person. It is so stinking cute. This is a really good size box. There is the bubble, and there is a bubble. Now, even if I fix it, I don't know if it's going to cure with UV resin and that mica powder, but I can try. I know last time I did it off camera and you guys all were like, do it on camera, do it on camera. So I could do that. Let me put the decal on first. So, do I want it crooked or do I want it straight? I'm going to go with straight. I hope that's pretty centered. I picked gold. I didn't know what color to pick. So I picked gold. Look at that. I love this mold. We're going to decorate with some sprinkles, and I'll probably put sprinkles on the top too. And I might even do some on the bottom because if it was a birthday cake, I would be doing some on the bottom. But I'll just have to be quick. But I know you guys are going to want to see me fix this. I just hope that this pink will... I need to trim that a little bit too. All right, let me mix something up and let me see if it's gonna work before I even get into it. Guess what? It worked. It cured through the mica powder. I did, where is it? I did one little spot right here. And you can kind of tell because it's a little bit different color, barely, but it is. And it sticks down. I mean, it can be trimmed. Let me see if I could trim that. It's a little harder to trim because UV resin is harder. Might have to sand it. I don't really want to tug at it though. Probably have to sand that down because if you tug at it, the whole piece might pop right out of there. So all I did, it was so simple. UV resin and your mica powder in a little cup. A little bit of tape. You're just going to tape up the side so it doesn't go spilling out. It's so easy to do. Well, let's do this corner one. Just make the tape even with the top lip of your whatever you're doing. I mean, this one goes a little bit above. Really should be even, but I guess it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so just tape that there to make a little barrier. That's it. Take your little resin. All I did was scoop it up and drip it in. And it did shrink a little bit in the UV light, so I did 2 layers. So I will get this cured. Bring my light over here. All right, it is hard enough to add another drop. And some of you might have caught what I just did. I left my resin on the table and the light kind of cured it within a split second. So yeah, I usually keep it on top of my light and I completely forgot to move it. So that is filled to the rim. Now I'm just gonna get that cured and we'll do the other bubble and that'll be fixed. Guys, it's so easy. Don't get bummed out when you have bubbles. There's usually a fix for every problem. But while we wait, I just can't get over the sparkle in that white. That is so stinking cute. You could probably decorate the sides somehow. I did see Let's Resin had decorations on their sides and I sent a message into them to see how they did that because I don't know what they used. There's no way it was resin because you couldn't get it cured quick enough. I'm just wondering what it was that they used on there, so I'm hoping they respond back and tell me what it was because it was their demo that I saw it on. All right, let's check this and see if it is done. Yep. So that one's done. Just peel off your tape and you have a perfect corner. See that? And the last section is a pretty big bubble. So we'll do this in a couple drips. That tape spot was already wrinkled there. I don't want to use that spot. There's a tiny little drip right there that I'll just do since I have it taped anyway. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to have extra resin, of course, so I'm going to make something else with it. This one is kind of deep, so I will do it in that little spot though is really shallow. That down in there. And I'll just keep curing it until it's filled. All right, it is all cured, and not only did we get it fixed, but I used the rest and I made one more pendant out of it, and I put a little tiny dolphin in the center. So that was good. Here is the finished piece. Now this big hole I did in probably 5 different drips because it was much deeper. And I had to cure them. And then I put one top coat of clear on. So now when you close the box, I mean, I guess if you were looking for the drips, you could see them. But they blend in pretty well. That tip looks pretty good. There are no more holes. And then I put this under the UV light. You just flip it out after it's cured. Grab a piece of tape and clean out the rest. That's how I do mine. Or you could wipe it out with alcohol, whatever you prefer. But since I was curing something anyway, I just threw it under the light and got that done. Okay, now time to move on to the sprinkles. Now that I just made a nice mess over here, let me get this off. All right, so I need the light. I need the resin. And I've got my sprinkles in this little cup. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to I'm going to do one first. Whoops, that comes out quick. I'm just going to top it with a little bit of resin. You don't want it dripping, although I am going to fill that in. Take some sprinkles. And then we're going to cure it. That's it. So I'm going to do that around the entire thing. And they are nice and stuck on there. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. I'm just going to go ahead and do this, get it cured, and then I'll be back and we'll do the top together. And just like that, well, 20 minutes later, I'm done. So basically I rubbed UV resin on, sprinkled sprinkles, cured it. Once I had all the sprinkles on, and then I also did the bottom. After all the sprinkles were attached, I went back over it and I just rubbed more UV resin on top of the sprinkles. This way they are adhered for good. So I have these little cherries I'm thinking about putting just one on in the corner, I think. But first, well, I guess I'm going to try UV resining the top. Let me move this aside. I don't always like doing UV resin in that big of a surface. Hopefully I'm not going to ruin this. But I want the cherry to cure standing up. So let's give it a try. And it's going to seal in my decal. I hope I'm not ruining this by doing this. Sometimes when you do it like this, it gives you little bumps and ripples when you're doing big areas like that. I'm just going to get my lighter, pop any bubbles, which I think it popped all by itself. Then I'm just going to hold this where I want it to hold, where I want it to stay. And my light is knotted up. It's got a really nice long cord, but it had a knot in it. So I'm just going to kind of manipulate the light. It looks like my cherry is staying up. So I'm just going to go ahead and cure this and we'll see what it looks like. It is done and my cherry is stuck. I'm sure if I pulled it, it would come out. Probably can go around that with another layer of UV resin just around this bend or like some glue of some sort. But I guess if you're careful, it'll stay. So it is definitely cured through. So the happy birthday is in there forever. And this is the cake, guys. Isn't it adorable? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. One of my favorite makes. All right, so tell me what color birthday cakes in this video that you would like to see done. That is my question of the day. What colors should we do? All right, y'all, I'm going to get you some cute little pictures. Stay tuned, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Bye.